Good
afternoon, everybody. Jeff Jenkins and Eric Klayman here for our weekly Facebook Live broadcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. And today we're going to talk about technology that's kind of come to the forefront because of the COVID crisis, and also what we as a firm are doing about things. And we wanted to talk about some general topics about kind of where we are in the COVID situation right now and what that means to different people.
Well summarized, Jeff.
Thank you.
This will be good. And really, what we see is that Jeff and I talk all the time about how can we best serve our clients in this environment. Whether we should see people in the office, the answer is yes. Whether we should speak to people on the phone from the safety and comfort of their home, yes. Whether they'd like to do it with Zoom or Google Duo, and again, from the safety of comfort of their home. And it's yes. The answer has to be yes, whether it's your small business or our law firm.
Yeah, I guess as far as, and this is something that's cropped up, of course, it was always there, and I'm sure many people throughout the world used it, but it's become used extensively with the COVID-19 crisis, and that is talking to people with your computer, using Zoom and Google Duo and programs like that to actually see who you're talking to, or they have guests on TV and they're talking from their home, and maybe their home is messy and maybe they straightened it up, but they're on national television, so that's something that we haven't gotten used to. But when this thing started a year ago, I mean, if you would have told me last March that we'd be sitting here in April of the following year, still not finished with this thing, I'd say you got to be kidding me. But it's that's the way it's gone. And
but Jeff, even with that, we're getting calls. People are having financial difficulty. The government has tried to step in, but really, the best government program to help people who have financial difficulty is already in place.
Yeah, and that's a bankruptcy. That's filing a bankruptcy, and I think that's true. But I guess the point I was getting to was that as a law firm, we decided to see people on our computers using Google Duo or Zoom, and it's just, I mean, that's one way to do things, and we're happy to continue doing that. I mean, we're still not out of the woods. If people have an issue with going out or coming to our office or something like that, and they want to do stuff on the computer, we're fine with that. But sometimes, in fact, actually, most of the time, Eric and I think it's better for us to communicate with our clients well by seeing them face to face. We like to sit down with our clients, see them face to face, talk to them about what their problems are, and talk about solutions and things like that. And it's just a little more impersonal, I think, when you do it on a computer. So as a law firm, we've accommodated our clients either way they want to go. There's some people that when we talk to them and we feel we really like to talk to them in the office, we tell them that. And if they don't want to come, fine. But if they do, that's fine too. Other people, they might want to just talk to us on, I keep saying on the computer, but you know what I'm talking about, through Google Duo or Zoom.
Actually, when you say, let me interrupt you, when you say just speak on the computer, our webpage, it was just up there, jenkinsklayman.com, actually on the top right, there you go. You can actually click on a telephone link, and if you, and you really can speak to us just by the computer now.
Yeah, I mean, we just redid our website, and we made that a feature of it. I think the website looks really good right now, and you can, Eric's right, you can click on a little thing on the home page, and our phone will ring, and you can talk to us. That's all you have to do. You don't have to remember the phone number or something like that.
But you were saying, so it's business changing, and look, from a law firm perspective, we're here to help people with financial difficulty. We're also here to make a living, quite frankly. and we have to accommodate clients any way you want to be accommodated. We're here to help. Small businesses in New Jersey have been hit hard right now. Half the COVID cases in the United States are in 5 states, and New Jersey is one of those 5, right? We talked about that. I think it's California, Florida, then it's Michigan. I don't know where
it was Michigan.
Was Michigan.
And the other 2 are New Jersey.
Yeah, so that's the 5 states. So New Jersey's still rough. And if you own a restaurant or a dry cleaner, dry cleaners really, we've spoken to a couple who had to come in and see us because not only you have all the COVID things, but people aren't getting dressed the way they used to for work. So you're not wanting to go to the dry cleaner, and you don't need to go to the dry cleaner. So,
I mean, some of these things you don't think of. So many businesses have been drastically affected by COVID-19, and you can sit there and talk about it and think about it, and you still won't get to all the ones that are having problems. You don't think about that. Or, I mean, an easier one, but one that we've certainly heard from people who actually come in to see us would be florists. They've had a very difficult time. Weddings getting canceled or scaled down from 200 to 2. You know, that would be the minimum number, I think, too.
You need less bouquets, though.
That's right. And they've had problems. You know, the government's done what it can to help us, but still there are people having a difficult time out there. And one thing we wanted to focus on today is the fact that all these moratoriums that have been imposed that have helped people deal with things like foreclosures, no sheriff sales, utilities can't get shut off, you can't get evicted. Our Supreme Court won't even let us conduct landlord-tenant court trials unless it's a commercial property or an emergency. But I think we're starting to see the end of this stuff. I think we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now. I mean, the latest dates that we have are the end of June, and I'd be a little surprised if we went beyond that, quite frankly. I would expect in June or July, these things are going to get cranked up again. And so for the utilities that you didn't pay, for the rent that you didn't pay, for the mortgage payments that you didn't make, something's going to have to be done about all those things.
You're right, Jeff. So let's take it from the beginning, okay? If you're watching us right now and you're wondering how a law firm can help you if you're dealing with financial difficulties, the first thing to do is to pick up your phone. The phone number's right there, and call. And if you mention you're watching it today on Facebook, ask for Jeff's book, okay? Make Bankruptcy work for you. You see it? Jeff looks a little younger in the book, maybe. There's his doggy Hardy on the back. You can see that, right? But it's a great book. It really is chock full of information. I just want to show you it's not a picture book, okay? Call us now at that number, get the book. That's the way you get started. You'll talk to one of our paralegals. It could be Miranda, Joe, or Robert. They're in today to answer your phone calls. And tell them you listen to this, you want the free book. And then talk to them about your financial problems. That's step 1.
Yeah.
And then they'll take some notes. They'll pre-qualify you in a way and just make sure that you're comfortable with the basics of bankruptcy. And then they'll set you up for an appointment with Jeff or me, Rondi, or Stephanie, okay? Those are the 4 lawyers in the office. And Jeff, at that point, the next appointment is up to them. It's up to you as the client. Do you want a phone call with me? Let's say it's me. Do you want a phone call with me? You want to meet with me? You want to do it, as Jeff would say, through the computer? Whatever works for you. But the bankruptcy, as we've stressed during these, probably have done 40 to 50 episodes of these now. I don't think we've reached 50, but we've reached a solid 40 episodes of these. And one thing we've stressed the whole time is if you've received a summons and complaint, I don't care what kind of moratoriums out there, you must speak to an attorney. We're the attorneys that can help you, okay? So you're going to call at the phone number, ask for your book, talk to Miranda, Joe, or Robert, and then have an appointment with Jeff or me, phone, internet, come in to see us, whatever works for you.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the moratoriums that are ending, and we're going to talk about bankruptcy a little bit, but we do that normally. That's what if you tune in to watch bankruptcy attorneys, that's what you're going to get. The foreclosure moratoriums are probably drawing to a close. They don't even apply really to non federal government-backed mortgages. But those people, just as a decision on their part, have told their attorneys in New Jersey not to go forward with foreclosure actions. And so this no foreclosure stuff could end, well, I guess we're at the end of June, right? June 30th. And I'd be surprised if it went beyond that. I mean, it might, but I'd be kind of surprised. So the time's coming very soon when you're going to need to do something about all the mortgage payments you missed. And you might be able to work something out with the mortgage company, or you may not. Eric had a client, they came in yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they were 18 months behind with their mortgage. And that is going to be a small number, I think, because a lot of people might have been struggling with their mortgage before March of last year. Maybe they had 3, 4, 6 months in arrears. Now you add a year onto that, and it becomes a pretty significant number. And so there are all kinds of things that we can do in a bankruptcy context to take care of that issue, to get you back on track, making your normal monthly mortgage payment, plus have a plan to pay your arrears over a long period of time, up to 5 years now. If they let us for a short time, based on the CARES Act, I guess, to tack 2 years onto a Chapter 13 plan. But is no more, but it could get new life breathed into it. You never know. I mean, that's a pretty useful thing to do, especially if the number of months are high for a lot of people, for what they're behind. But you do that, you come see us, we can stop everything. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. No foreclosure can occur, no sheriff's sale can happen, and we can get you back on the right track with your mortgage and all your other bills. So
you come in and you breathe out all the bull crap, and you'll breathe in all the good stuff. And it really is. People come in, we have all the sayings that people have told us. We came in crying, we met Jeff, we walked out smiling. It really, life can be difficult and it can be stressful. And to add the fact that you're in fear of losing your house, losing your car, and having your wages garnished, if you're going through that kind of stress, call us.
yeah, really.
Yeah, nothing. You have to get that stress removed from your life, and that's what we'll tell you. The stress. Look, we can't offer solutions to everyone, and none of the solutions are perfect. But you're going to be in a much better position calling us.
Well, I know about that.
Close to perfect.
Yeah, I think I think in the majority of the cases that we handle, and we've been doing this, like we've told you before, for 35 years. Have taken care of tens of thousands of bankruptcies. We used to file about 100 a month, 1,200 a year. And the majority of the time, we can pretty much take care of all your financial issues. You're behind on credit cards, you're behind on loans, you fell behind your car loan, you're behind on your mortgage, behind your rent, you're behind on your utilities. Whatever it is, we can pretty much take care of through a bankruptcy filing. It's rare that there's something left hanging. Sometimes there is, and because we can't do anything about it based on the bankruptcy laws. It might be the kind of debt that you just can't get rid of with a bankruptcy going on. So that would live on after the bankruptcy's over with. But I think we're pretty good about generally taking care of everything.
Absolutely. I just wanted to
See if I was awake.
Realistic expectations, but yes. Come in, and if I'm more right than Jeff, we'll still get 90-some% of your debt problems resolved. Hopefully 100%. That's our goal, and we achieve our goal. 100% client satisfaction, of course, is our goal, and that's what we're going for. Most of our clients, if they don't like the process, it's because they didn't give us every bill. That's really the biggest complaint afterwards. Hey, I still owe this person. Hey, I still owe that person. So we'll go over that with you, how you get up to 3 free credit reports. We'll work with you to get that. And then Jeff was mentioning these other bills we can get rid of. And I was thinking, I just had a client who overpayment from Social Security, okay? They kept writing him checks and he went back to work. He was no longer disabled. Well, we filed bankruptcy. It's possible that could be construed as fraud. That's possible. But for the most part, the Social Security Administration doesn't hire a lawyer and doesn't pursue that relief. It can. They'd have a difficult case to prove, but they could. But in this gentleman's situation, we did a Chapter 7, got rid of 20, 30,000 in credit card debt. It was a car repossession. He owed a lot of money. He had lost a car, it was repossessed. They sold it for a song, so he still owed the money. And look, if you can't afford the car when you have it, you certainly can't afford the car when they take it away. So we got rid of car repossession, some credit card debt, and about 25,000 in Social Security debt. And he got a fresh start.
Yeah.
And that's the way the law is written.
Yeah. That's the way it works. And we can do a lot of good things. And we've talked a little bit about things that are affected by the moratoriums, but there are things that aren't affected by the moratoriums. For example, lawsuits can continue and do. Creditors can get judgments against you. They can garnish your wages. They can seize money from a bank account. They could repossess your car. And repossessions right now in the country are a big issue, big problem. So many other things are stopped because of the moratoriums, but the car repossessions go on. There's nothing to stop them. And all of that stuff, bankruptcy can take care of. You know, and it's not like Eric and I want to tell you that a bankruptcy is a panacea. It's not, but it's generally going to work really, really well with your financial problems.
Absolutely. And it's worth the phone call.
Yeah, it's free. Call up, talk to us.
Call us. Ask for Miranda. She likes to talk to you. And they'll talk to you. That's what people do here. We have highly trained legal assistants that will speak to you on the phone and give you good advice. And then they'll give it to us and you'll get legal advice with us. And it's really hard for us to collect money from you when we're just doing a phone call. So if you really don't like the advice, you probably didn't pay anything for it. But then we'll get involved, and our fees are very reasonable. And Jeff, now we're doing most of our clients are on these payment plans where they put a little bit of money down, and then if they can't afford their credit cards, which is why they're filing bankruptcy or their other bills, we accept the phone calls from the creditors and explain that we're in the process of filing bankruptcy. That gives the people a little respite, a little relief. Now, we can't stop a wage garnishment or get a repossessed car get back until the bankruptcy is filed. But we can at least slow the phone calls down again. And I guess this is what today's little video on Facebook is about, from my mind, is end the stress. Call us, just end the stress. And as Jeff explained, we have a lot of ways to finish up the bankruptcy filing with you so that you're either safe from the comfort of your home or seeing us in person. Whatever works for you will work for us, and you'll be stress-free.
Yeah, absolutely. It just has to be an awful thing, and we understand it because we've dealt with it for 35 years. To see people who are worried about getting thrown out on the street because they're behind on their rent, or losing a house due to a foreclosure that they've had for 15 years and made a lot of payments, maybe missed some. But what a horrendous thing that is. If you have a wife and children, if you're a man.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, well, it's a big burden to carry. And what Eric is saying, we've talked about before, and it's true that if you talk to us, and especially, you talk to the paralegal, you talk to one of the attorneys, we'll map out a plan for you about how you can take care of all of your financial problems. And what relief that has to be to know that, you're not alone, there's help out there for you, and we've chartered a path for you to follow to get things back on the right track.
So to get started on the right track, give us a call at that phone number, ask for this book. We'll send it right out for you. We'll talk to you on the phone for as long as you want to talk. We're going to make sure that this plan is right, and we're going to tell you just what we need in order to file bankruptcy and to help you. We're going to make sure you get your credit reports, get us all the bills, get us your proof of income, and we'll just get this done for you so that the stress will be swept away. And Jeff, it's not a panacea, but it really is. People walk out of this office smiling. They really do. We yesterday, the other people I met were actually from East Brunswick, and right now we're in our Camden County office. And they drove an hour. It was an easy day. The weather's been so nice here in April. And came down, and it was two men, a prospective client and his nephew who was going to help him, just give him some support. Because it's stressful to see us. We realize that. And it's like going to a doctor. Sometimes you need a second person. And we spoke, and at the end, he said, "Oh,
It's not as bad as the doctor.
It's not as bad as the doctor. Gosh, no.
There's no shots, or anything like that.
But at the end, he said, "Oh, do we shake hands? Because I really think I should shake your hand, Eric, because you've helped me." And we're not shaking hands yet, I don't think, for the most part. But it was just so, makes me feel good for my life's professional careers doing this. And this man was so happy at the end. It was very nice.
You would be too, and a lot of it is because you've got a solution to your problems. You're not sitting there thinking you've got the world on your shoulders and everything's going to come to an end tomorrow, some terrible end, and you're going to be out on the street. We can get you through all that. Just have to give us a call. Anything else we wanted to?
I think that those who've stayed for the full 21 minutes and 8 seconds got their time's worth, right?
I would think so.
And next week we'll surprise you with what we're talking about, because there's going to be a lot of things happening in the next week. We're going to fill you in next week, so be sure to listen next Thursday at 2.
Yeah, we try to keep you posted. Absolutely. We try to keep you posted about the changes and what's going on with different COVID rules and regulations and executive orders and deadlines and this, that, and the other thing. So we'll probably due for another round of those shortly. But why don't we wrap it up for today? And thank you for watching us, especially like Eric said, if you stayed awake the whole time, that's good. And hopefully we'll see you next week, Thursday at 2 o'clock. Until then, stay safe and God bless.